Today we're going to talk about social media impact on the English language. A language is a living entity that evolves as it is being used. Humans use language to communicate orally, in a written way, or even silently with body language. English has evolved, and to see how we can go back to its origins, where we can find that the Romans were there, meaning that Latin is part of it. Then we have some Germanic groups, the Angles and the Saxons. Afterwards, we have the Vikings and then the Normans, which brought French into the mixture. Once English was set as a language, we have these authors and writers that created new words and phrases to be able to express themselves. Shakespeare, for example, created 2,000 words and phrases that we still use nowadays. 1.5 billion people speak English worldwide. From that number, 1/4 are native speakers, the other quarter are second language speakers, and the remaining half are able to communicate at any level. Technology has forced the language to change and to evolve. With the creation of new things, now we have to download things, we have toolbars and firewalls. These charts are only for us to see how statistically the use of social media has increased. 2021, it is projected that 3.02 billion people is going to be using it. Here we can see how with different apps, teenagers and young adults used them a lot in February 2017. Here we can see how Instagram from January 2013 to June 2018 increased its users, which means that everyone is using it. Now, language has been affected greatly with the use of social media. For example, we have Twitter that limits us only to have 140 characters to write a message, to convey a whole idea. Now, it is good because it is fast. The way we communicate, we can be in touch with our audience very, very quickly, but we cannot use as many words as we would like. We cannot use words. Now we have acronyms, and we have all this lingo that we have to learn to be able to use these social media effectively. The problem is that the more we do it, the more it becomes part of us. And then I don't only use it in Twitter, I use it at school too. Then I have school papers with all these new words that don't really fit with academic English. We have these new words that are created for Facebook, the cover photo, profile photo, and your timeline, and now you have likes. We have Twitter with the tweets and the retweet and all these new words that we have to really know to be able to understand how to use this application. We have Instagram with hashtags and with filters and with bios and stories and all these things that now people use to be able to communicate ideas. This has been so important that English Oxford dictionaries have included these words and have made them official. Now, the important thing to identify is that English is going to be changed depending on the place that is being spoken and the context of it. The English that is spoken in China is not the same that is spoken in the USA or in Mexico. The English that is going to be spoken on or used on an academic paper shouldn't be the same that is used on Twitter. So the idea is to enrich the language instead of chopping it so that we can do everything faster and better. We want to do it accurately and be precise depending on the context or depending on how we are using it. So technology is good. It allows us to convey and express our ideas to everybody that is willing to listen. But English is so rich that we shouldn't just limit it to 140 characters. Thank you.